Life is a journey of learning, either done willingly or unwillingly. We all have things that we want to learn in our lives. Some people want to learn to dance, some people like to sing, some people want to learn a new language. We all have aspirations on what we want to learn. So how do we learn effectively? We find that some things are very easy for us, some things take so much of effort and we just don't get it. We all remember our experience from the day before an exam where we've stayed up through the night and rushed to write a paper and come back and just managed to clear it. How much of it remains in our memory a few days later? Why does that happen? How do we learn things in such a way that they become a part of us? The Indian tradition has deeply contemplated on what learning is and how it happens. It identifies 3 steps in the process. Let's look at it through an example. If you learned how to drive a car, you would vividly remember the first class where you were taught. The instructor is telling you about those 3 pedals in the bottom, he's telling you how to shift gears, how to start the car. There are so many things and you suddenly realize a car is a very complicated machine. How do people even drive it? There is so much data and you feel overwhelmed. Gradually, you become familiar with the theory. This process is called Shravana. Shravana literally means listening, and it's the process of listening and understanding, and it's the first step in knowledge. After theory comes practice, right? So if you're lucky, your driving school will actually have a simulator before you let loose on the road. Either way, whenever you actually practice, you will realize that you have a lot of questions regarding the theory. What is the exact speed at which I shift a gear? How do I handle the clutch and brake? You begin to contemplate deeply about the different dimensions of the theory that you learned and how they apply to different contexts. This process is called Manana or reflection. It is reflecting upon the knowledge learned, trying to understand the nuances of it and understanding how it would apply to different contexts. Manana helps us see the gaps in our intellectual understanding and helps us gain clarity. As you drive, there will come a day where you're actually not thinking about driving. It's happening effortlessly, it's second nature. This is called Nidhidyasana, loosely translated as internalization. Nidhidyasana is when you embody the knowledge. The knowledge is a part of you and it flows effortlessly into your actions. Nidhidyasana is when learning finds its true fulfillment. In much of our learning, we stop at Shravana where we learn and reproduce what we just learned. In some cases, we proceed on to Manana where we contemplate and gain an intellectual understanding of what we learn. Very rarely do we proceed on to Nidhidyasana where we embody the knowledge and action flows effortlessly from that knowledge. Stopping at Shravana means that it's just empty information sitting in your head. You cannot apply that knowledge. If you proceeded on to do Manana, contemplation, then you have intellectual clarity which may or may not translate into effective action. When we stop at Manana, then we have an intellectual clarity on what we are supposed to do or how things are supposed to happen, but our actions don't reflect that. You're intellectually convinced that you should act in one way, but you end up acting in a completely different way. This puts us in conflict with our own selves. And from this arises fear, shame, guilt and all of these emotions. Or the key understanding that we must have is that Nidhidyasana of that knowledge has not happened within us. Nidhidyasana happens through living that knowledge and letting it sink in until it becomes a part of who we are. At that stage you embody that knowledge. And out of that knowledge flows effortless action. And this conflict between what we think and what we act is reconciled. And in that, over time, comes gradual mastery. And with mastery comes joy in action. Thank you.